Hello, and welcome to the Creatively Geeky Show. I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. I'm joined by our usual cast tonight of Chris and Ray. How are y'all doing?
Excellent.
Good. Well, let's just go ahead and go into our updates and what we've been working on. Instead of kind of asking how you're doing, it's pretty much the same thing. So, would anyone like to go first? I've actually got a lot of things to report this time. So if someone wants to go first before I start monopolizing the
I'm going to need a reminder.
Okay. You said that you were working on a painting for your aunt, her aunt, an aunt.
Yep.
Okay. You said you were going to be working on painting rooms, working on floors, and I threw in there a car update because I just want to kind of, update on. You had spent last time you had spent most of your creativity researching a new vehicle, so I was going to ask you update on that.
I didn't think anything happened. I'm like, oh, we're not gonna have anything to talk about. Wow!
Okay, so my painting has not been touched.
No.
Okay.
Because the walls and the floor have been completely redone.
Okay,
Yes.
I know what a big job that is. So if you just left it at that, I would be like, nope, you got a crap ton of stuff done. So tell us about it.
I took a week off, and I got a floor sander, and we sanded 2 rooms, 2 and a bit.
2 rooms and a entryway.
So sanded it right down and put a fresh coat of oil on to seal it. And then we did that for the dining room and the living room. Took 3 days to seal. Oh no, I guess it was 4. Yeah, 4 days.
4 days
to do the floors.
Wow.
And then we went right into, because all the furniture was out of the room, so we went right into painting.
Yeah.
And painted both the rooms, so they're a lovely blue color that
It's
you can
called.
It looks nice.
It's called Deep Lagoon. It's a very deep navy, and so we have an aesthetic that we're creating with the house of like a Victorian terrarium sort of thing.
It's kind of a nice version of the Addams Family.
Yes, we're going for their not nicer, but more mainstream neighbors.
Gotcha.
Or they're more like mainstream cousins or something like that.
Yeah, without the tombstones.
Yeah, it's not as ghoulish, but it's still very dramatic.
So
it took 4 coats of paint for each room. So we went through 3 gallons of paint.
Yeah, 3 and a bit.
Was it just what was there before?
Just gray. Yeah. It was like a nice gray color, which the kitchen is in the hallway.
And so that's been done, which is great.
Yes.
Then so my car's been fantastic.
You just tell them what you got a
Oh,
electric.
did we not even? Okay, so
no, you did say that you on the last episode, because I've started going back and re-listening. You did say you had just gotten a new EV.
Mm-hmm. So got the EV. We have a charger now for it. It's been fantastic. Love driving it.
Love it.
It's been a great commuter, and thank goodness we did it when we did, because somebody's car needs a new engine.
Oh no.
Somebody was driving. All of a sudden,
I went to go past somebody,
and it turned into a diesel.
And it turned into a diesel, which I don't know a lot about cars, but I knew it wasn't supposed to sound like that. So and the oil light came on, so I pulled over, and as I'm pulling over, the battery light comes on.
So we got it towed to Goderich, and then the mechanic there said, the bottom end is done and can't pump oil to the rest of the engine now. So I suggest you take it back. And so
because it's not supposed to happen.
No, we have a lot of mileage on it.
Yes,
but
we've been taking care of it.
Yeah, we've been taking care of it, so this shouldn't have happened. So anyway, it's been sent to the owner or the
dealership
manufacturer, and hopefully we'll see what's going on from there. So yay!
But also silver lining to that is that because we've been put on another lockdown, number 3 for the year.
Yes, we are on the 3rd lockdown of this year.
Yeah, we're on a strict stay-at-home order. Ray now works 3 days a week at home. So
2 to 3.
2 to 3 days a week from home. So that's good, because then that means I can plan my week to go if I need to get stuff, appointments, all that stuff, I still have a car to get somewhere.
I can still leave a car over here because I can from home.
Yeah.
So that's been fun. So that's all been done, and then I built a coffee table.
He did build, coffee table.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. So the old coffee table that we had, I took apart completely. It was made of cedar, and I made a hexagon. I was kind of inspired by WandaVision a little bit, so I was like, "Fuck it, let's go hexagon."
I was about to ask, so why hexagon? What brought that on? But
Chris wanted a circle, and I didn't want to make a circle because that would.
Chris was like, "Oh, nice."
How about a hexagon? It's one of the best shapes, and it's actually worked out really well. I'm really happy with the finish on this thing. It went together a lot better than I thought it was going to. So
we stained it ebony.
And so it's stained ebony. It's nice and dark. Finished up really nicely.
It did.
So that was done, and then there was something else too. Well, you talk about your stuff, and I will think there is something else.
There is something else?
Yeah.
What else did you do?
I prepped and started looking up, and I prepped the area that I'm going to have to dig out for a fire pit.
Fire pit.
Okay.
So we figured out where we're going to put a new fire pit in the yard, and so I kind of spray painted it all out, made sure I know where I'm going to dig, and I have a whole plan for that one too.
Yeah, because
I'm going to put a vent to it so that the fresh air will actually get to the bottom of the fire.
Because right now it just smokes. Yeah. It does nothing but smoke.
Yeah, the previous person that put one in did not know how to make.
Not my cousin.
No, the previous person to that.
Previous, yeah.
Doesn't know how to do stuff sometimes.
Yeah, oxygen's kind of needed.
Yeah. So it just smokes instead of a fire. We get smoke, and we really missed having campfires last summer because it was no fun. It just smoked all the time.
Yeah, couldn't have one up there at all.
No.
Well, good deal. Yeah, you've been busy.
Little bit.
So I didn't get any time on the painting because
you had no time.
Everything else.
Yeah. Well, Chris, you had finished the house color blankets.
Yes.
And in your shop. Mm-hmm. And post more on Instagram.
So I did one of those two things.
Okay.
I finished my house colored blankets. I finished the Gryffindor one up. I'm going to call them common room blankets. I have not.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's where I picture them. It was Ray's idea. But I haven't been on Instagram. I have confidence issues and a lot of, especially as a creative person. And I know I'm not the only one who feels that way as a creative person, where you feel creative, you love what you've made, and then you're sort of stopped by crippling, overwhelming feelings of everybody's going to hate it. I can't put it out there. So I'm working on that.
A little bit of that imposter syndrome sinking in again.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So and I recognize it this time. So now it's I know I want to. So now it's finding, courage isn't the word, but maybe it is. Just the motivation, the courage, the confidence to actually do it, like put it out there, photograph it, market them. That's the other problem too. I think that's why I've stopped posting on Instagram outside of Quinn's birthday, which was last month.
Mm-hmm.
And I posted it on my private account that it was his birthday.
You've still been doing stories.
I do stories every once in a while, but stories are sort of like easy because you can just like regrand something, or like, because it's gone in 24 hours, doesn't really matter kind of thing. But yeah, Instagram's a little bit intimidating to me because I'm probably making it way too complicated than it actually is. Because I'm like all freaked out about the algorithm and.
See, I don't care at all. Yeah. Like I don't even. Well, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't even post anything hardly. Like I've come to realize I don't really post anything to anything hardly anymore. I just kind of like most of the stuff. Usually, Christy is tagging me on or whatever. So I just. And it's not that I'm like, oh, I don't want to share anything anymore. It's just like,
yeah. I like looking at everybody else's pictures. That's why I like Instagram, is I like everybody else's pictures. I just don't know how to articulate my vision for what I want. But I did finish blankets, and then I started another one for his sister because she's having a baby in July.
Which we can say on here because she's never going to watch it.
No, and she's 6.5. She's 6.5 months pregnant right now. So, and she's having a baby. So I picked a pattern, and it was an intermediate crochet pattern, and it was something I'd never done before. And I'm like, okay, this looks doable. Doesn't look complicated. It just looks tedious. And I have had to rip more rows out, do more counting, get more frustrated at where I went wrong than anything else, because it's so specific. I can't screw up on anything because then it takes everything else off kilter. So there's no room for ad-libbing. It has to be so precise. And I have, it took me 3 times to just start it properly. And
it's been entertaining to watch sometimes.
Because I'm sitting there and I'm like meticulously counting all my stitches, and I'm like, fuck. Where did that extra stitch come from? What did I do? And then I'm counting like 3 rows down, and I'm trying. But then I figure out because it was something silly, and then I feel better, and I go back and after I've ripped stuff out. But yeah, I'm almost. And then I ran out of yarn 2/3 of the way through my last row, so I have to order more yarn.
It's always something, isn't it?
I was playing like fast and loose with like yarn roulette. Like, how much can I get out of this? Really?
Yeah, I've more than done that with filament sometimes. Like, for example, I've got, I kind of have to keep going between these 2 different oranges. And for one of the large matrices, I have the front shells printed and I have the battery cover printed. But just didn't quite have enough for the back shell, and it was just like, well, crap. I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm not gonna throw it out in case I can go back to this other version. Then I can print it, and it'll be fine. But yeah, that's happened on more than one occasion. It's to the point that I have literally like taken a spool of filament and an empty version of it and like gone in there and measured it, and it's like, all right, it's 135 grams or whatever. And then I will like, look at it and I'm like, do I have enough for this? So I'll take it in there and I'll measure it, and I'll be, all right, I've got 100 grams of this left, and I'll go on my computer and I'll re-render it, and I'm like, it says it only takes 90 grams. Technically this should work.
Yeah.
So question about that then. Do they have a way to like re-spool it? Where you could like remelt it down and put it into a new spool?
Like
there are some people who have created machines. I haven't heard anything else on them. They were kind of like a new thing, or a year or so ago. Mm-hmm. The problem is you can do it, but the machines were extremely expensive, and it's because it has to be ground. It really needs to be ground down. Like you can't just like throw it in there because when it's extruding it, it needs to be consistently 1.75 millimeters, because if it gets a little thin, then that will cause under extrusion on whatever it is you're making, and that causes additional problems. So it's not as simple as we were hoping. I'm sure someone's going to crack that nut eventually, though. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
And it may just be that something that where they have to, instead of like kind of feeding it and then it melts and starts going, it may have to just be, no, you got to throw it in there and let it melt and then completely down, and then you can.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So,
cool.
But yeah, I haven't heard anyone talk about it, so I don't know.
And you would only be able to do that like a couple of times before. Isn't it plastic essentially? Isn't it just?
It is plastic. It also depends on the type of plastic it is. So like most of the printing I do is PLA, which is corn based.
Oh.
So it actually is somewhat biodegradable. And I don't know if you can melt it down or not. I know you can definitely reheat it and reshape it. So I would think it would be doable. So.
There's got to be a way.
Yeah, well, no, it's just that plastic itself can only be recycled like once or twice, and then it's done. You can't do it anymore because it's just the composition's not.
Now, if you're doing ABS, which is like plastic, like Lego type plastic, then I'm sure you would run into a situation where it's like, you get one more shot at this, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd ask.
What about you?
It's a good question.
What's your list?
Oh, okay. Let's see here. So the first thing I had on there was paint Catan pieces. That did happen.
Yay!
So I set up and I got all of them painted, and so I had an opportunity to actually go test out my new giant Catan board this last weekend. I was talking a little bit about that before the show. One of the things that we ran into was the colors are extremely very saturated. So like it is a very, and if you go look on my Instagram account, funny enough, that may be the last thing that I actually posted. I posted all the colors. Now, when I posted it, I kind of thought, well, some of these look a little dark. Playing with them at a different person's house, the brown ones, which are actually sitting out right here, I am definitely going to have to go back and lighten them up because they were damn near invisible on that board, to the point it was a detriment to me because I was just like, oh, that's right, I forgot you had a thing there, because I really couldn't see it from where I'm sitting. I thought I was going to have to do that with some of the other colors, but once I got them home and I was doing some stuff and making sure, because there were a couple of pieces missing. I don't know where they went, so I had to redo a couple of things here and there. But yeah, I got to looking and I was like, no, under the nice bright white lights I have in my house now, I'm like, you can clearly tell the difference between the black and the gray. The brown, though, just because like the borders of the tiles are brown as well, it just kind of melts in. So I'm like, no, I'm going to have to set that up and repaint that. So, let's see here. So, some of the other things that to finish up that project, I had to do several other things. I had to talk to my mom, and the case for it is sitting over here to my left. I painted it black. That wasn't really a problem. I actually went and spent the money and bought like nice foam to put in it, and that project worked out okay. The foam was pre-cut so that you just kind of like pull out the pieces you need. The problem is I had to pull out so much of it. I think it kind of weakened the structural integrity. I don't think I was supposed to pull out that much. But it's serviceable. It will do what I need it to do. Okay. I had my mom cut out a vinyl that says Catan to put on it so that it's nice and finished looking.
Yep.
Yeah. I figured out whenever there's these little cards that you get that tell you, like everyone gets a card and it tells you what it costs to build the different things. Well, they're color coded. And I was like, well, I had to come up with 4 brand new colors for the final ones. And I was like, so I was going into Photoshop and I was trying to figure out, I took a good scan of one. And I was like, I just need to replace the blue with purple or the blue with black or whatever. I hate Photoshop. Photoshop is like trying to swat a gnat with a nuke. I'm like, I shouldn't have to create 15 layers and 14 effects just to do this. Of course, I'm sure there's someone out there that's like, oh no, you just do this and click, 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 and it's done. And I watched, I don't know how many tutorials, and it kept going into it. And anyway, but I got that done. I got those printed, and I got it set up, and it turned out really cool. Like everybody was really impressed with it. So, like I said, I need to go back and repaint the brown a little bit lighter color, which is fine because there's some other stuff I need to do with the airbrush coming up here. Actually, I need to go grab something here so I can talk about that. So anyway, that was on my to-do list. I got it done. I was extremely happy about that. Let me see, what was the next thing on my list? Talk about headlights.
Oh.
So I don't remember if I got these. I think I got it done last time. I got all the other LEDs in my car, or all the other lights in my car changed out to LEDs. I actually had a blown fuse. That was a bit of a nightmare until I figured out exactly which fuse it was, and then that wasn't a problem. I was like, it was just kind of reaching up underneath to get it. And I'm just like, why would you put the fuse box there, you assholes? But yes, I've been trying to find time because it's going to change the headlights in my car. I'm going to have to take off the front grille. Ooh. And quite possibly the front bumper. It depends. Like I'm watching a couple of videos and they're like, no, you don't have to do the bumper. You just have to do this or whatever. So I'm ready for it. I'm trying to just find some time to do it. In fact, I went ahead and bought some people call it a cat claw, but it's to pop out the little tabs or whatever. I've never actually had an official one. I was like, nope, this is already going to be a nightmare. I'm going to buy the right tool for it. It was $10 on Amazon, and I probably could have just gone to the, auto store right up the thing and bought one just as easily. But I'm just like, nope, I'll go ahead and buy it, have it shipped to the house. So I'll be ready to go maybe this weekend. No promises. So another project that I stumbled upon. I don't even know if I had it on my official projects list. I was cleaning up my office, and a year or so ago, someone on one of the Ghostbusters Facebook groups I'm part of in England had redone the three of the newspaper articles that show up in the movie. And I mean, they're just very quick. They come up or whatever. And I had bought all three of them, had them shipped, and they turned out really good. But they've been sitting in my closet, and I finally got around to getting them framed. So now I haven't got them hung yet because I've got to talk to the wife about that. But like, I got it nice and framed.
That's awesome.
And it looks great. Like,
yeah, those look awesome.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited about this. So, Christy was like, "Where are you going to put those?" Because I don't think all four of them. Because there was one other thing I had framed. I don't think those all fit in the office. I'm like, well, I can maybe put two of them here, and then I can take the other two to my actual office. So,
or they could all go in the living room.
That's not the deal. You know the deal. I get the office, and she gets the rest of the house. Even though they are New York, but you know. So anyway, let's see here. So I got that done. Something else that was on my list, and I literally finished it up today. During lunch and like downtime in between imaging computers, because that seems like all I do at work anymore. I finished the Fusion 360 course I was working on. Now, I kind of fudged this a little bit. The course is offered from the actual company, and it goes into the depths of everything that this program can do. So literally, like, I'm going through at one point, and it's like download this model and get it pulled up or whatever, and it's for a steering column for a a go-kart thing. And it's talking about how you can set it up and perform stress tests so you can see like where it would bend and break and everything. And I'm just like, I will never use this. Or if I do happen to ever use it, it will be so far down the line that I'll have to refresh myself anyway. So I finished the beginner and the intermediate. I did pick up a couple of interesting things here and there. But I started on the advanced, and unfortunately it looks like the guy who's doing the course and some of the documents that they uploaded aren't matching up exactly. So I started off going through it, and I got about halfway through it, but I was just watching. I wasn't actually going along like I had with the previous ones because, number one, I didn't have the correct files. But also, it was a very simple car that they were looking at, and they were talking about, you know, how to do this and how to do that, and I'm just like, I'm not going to need any of this stuff. Like, I did kind of perk up a little bit when he was talking about how to, like, if I do something and create something with a joint, like how I can, you know, basically tell the program, hey, this is a joint. It, goes off of this axis. So if I want to move it and everything, so I'm like, that's kind of interesting. If I decide to do something that, you know, I would want to build. And then I just kind of scanned the rest of the course, and I was just like, I'm not going to need any of this. Or at least not anytime soon. Like, it was talking about how to set up the files and stuff for a CNC machine. I'm just like, until I buy a CNC machine, this is just going to be me sitting there kind of wasting time. So I was like, you know what? I got out of the course what I needed. I'm done.
Yeah.
So I was pretty happy about that. The main thing I'm happy about, the main thing I kind of want to report on is I had mentioned I had set up my phone. I used to have a folder in my phone that said projects, and it just had everything listed there. And the problem that I had was I would be like, all right, well, I've got a little extra time. What should I work on? And I would spend a good amount of time just scrolling through it going, okay, I could start on this, but that's kind of a major project, whatever. So what I decided to do is I took I picked three projects, and I pulled those out and made them their own separate folders. Mm-hmm. And so now, whenever I go to the main page of my to-do list or whatever, I can easily look at it and be like, okay, these are the three things I need to focus on. Now, some of this other stuff has kind of slipped in as, you know, just kind of a side thing. It's like, well, so like I'm at work, I've got 30 minutes, and it's like, well, I can't really work on this. I can't work on this, can't work on this. Scroll through. Oh, I found this. I could work on that, and kind of had that going in the background. But I feel like I've gotten a lot of stuff done recently, and I'm really happy with the stuff that I've gotten done. One of the other kind of side projects that I've been working on. Let me see if I can grab this real quick.
Okay. Yep. Dead air on a podcast.
So going back to the airbrush, we are planning on having our Geeks Weekend event this year, as long as everyone can get vaccinated. And it sounds like pretty much everyone should be good to go, except for maybe one person. But like it's gotten to where it's opened up down here. It shouldn't be too big a deal. Yeah, I know. But anyway, so one of the things that I wanted to do is I have this really cheap trophy back over here that we were kind of doing like on Will Wheaton's tabletop show, where if you won it, you got to hold on to the trophy, and I even put tape on it and put someone's name on it, and you didn't get to keep the trophy, but you got to keep the tape like they did on the show and everything. We kind of got away from using it, but one of the pictures I really like of my dad is him, winning a game and holding the trophy. So what I've done is I've taken the trophy, and like I said, it was super cheap. It was like, I don't know, maybe $5 or $6 on Amazon. Yeah. I've noticed it's not as gold as it was. So what I'm looking at doing is, I think I'm going to take it apart, which is just like one screw or whatever. I'm going to sand it down a little bit, and I have specifically bought a high gloss black that I can paint it with, because this is what I've learned from all the prop makers. You paint it high gloss black, and then you put your gold on there. And this is supposed to be really good, and to the point that I haven't started it yet because I'm waiting for the clear coat to come in, and it should be here Friday. So I'm going to repaint that. But I also designed and 3D printed this. It's kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
For those of you who are listening on the audio version, it says Big Marv Memorial Trophy of Awesome. And so I'm going to paint that, with the high gloss black and gold, and I'm going to mount it on the trophy, and it's going to be the official trophy for that. So
that's going to be awesome.
So yeah, I've got some airbrush projects coming up that I'm looking forward to, and I'm trying to embrace it to the point that I even told Christy, I said, all right, I'm going to go ahead and buy an ultrasonic cleaner so that I can throw the airbrush in there and get it really clean, and hopefully make it something that it's not like a special use thing. It's like, oh no, I'll just grab the airbrush and do it real quick. Of course, I also sold it as, we can also throw our rings and jewelry in there and it'll get it nice and clean. She's like, yep, go for it. So,
they're so handy.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm hoping to get that done. So like I said, I've got to redo the brown on these. I need to airbrush that, and then maybe the baby here who's still looking at me all in gray will eventually get done. We'll see. But yeah, so I got a lot of stuff done, and I'm very happy about it. The last couple of weeks, though, I've been really tired, or I haven't felt great, or for whatever reason, I've just felt like I'm kind of, I don't know, I can't get going. I'm having a hard time getting stuff done. But that seems to be picking up again, and I feel like, all right, I'm starting to get stuff done again, so I'm starting to feel better about it. But yeah, the last there were 2 weeks, I was knocking stuff out every single night, and I was just like, oh my god, this is great. I'm actually getting stuff knocked off the list. And in the last 2 weeks, it's just been like, so. Yeah. But anyway, well, tonight I wanted to talk a little bit about two things. There was something I wanted to bring up about judging yourself, but I also wanted to talk about you had messaged the group, Chris, about marketing yourself. So where are you at with that? Or what are your thoughts? What's going on?
That's a layered question. A lot of possible answers. I it's no secret, I have imposter syndrome, and I have forever. If it's not me writing, it's for everything. It's for everything, especially if people are going to see it. Especially for that, I think I have a tinge of perfectionism in there too, because if I can't. That's why I didn't want to do prop making, like movie replicas, is because if I can't get it movie perfect, I don't want to do it, because it would be agonizing for me. So I was like, okay, I don't want to do replications. I don't want to do props or anything like that. What could I do that would be in the realm it would fit, but it's my own thing, so I'm doing it myself, and I'm not trying to compare myself. I also have a thing about comparing lots of stuff. Therapy's been real good. It's been very important because I'm learning a lot about where it comes from. I'm a big people pleaser. I want to make sure that everybody likes what I'm doing, and that's been the hardest part. So when I started my crochet business, it was, okay, I have to make things for everybody. So everybody will like them. I don't want to ostracize anybody. I want to reach the biggest market possible. And then that made me very overwhelmed, because then it's like, I have to make all the things. Well, I can't make all the things, but I should make all the things, but I can't. So I got very overwhelmed.
So then we had a discussion of make what you want.
Yes.
Because if you make what you want, then if somebody, you will find a market for it if you do want to sell it. If you don't want to sell it, that's okay too. You can just give these things away.
Yes.
This is something for you to do. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's his explanation for it. Mine's different. So, so I found my niche. Everybody knows I'm a huge Potterhead. I got introduced to Pottergram this past pandemic year on Instagram. It's huge, but it's also super supportive. And lots of people within that they have like little side hustles, or it's their full business, but they do, things within the wizarding world, like props or replicas or books or whatever. One guy makes these crazy prop books. Anyways.
Yeah.
He's amazing. But they each have their own individual way of selling their stuff. And I do have an Etsy shop, but Etsy's Etsy and whatever. It's not like the end all be all. There's other different ways of doing this. So they each have their own different way of doing it. And I guess it just comes down to just actually putting myself out there and doing it. And it's very nerve wracking, and I'm thinking way too much about it and overanalyzing it and not letting it be. Yeah, I know. I see you nodding your head. But because I want to do this, and because it's like, no, it's time. Enough is enough of me like being scared and not of just assuming that people are going to hate it. Nobody's going to like it. I'm the only one on the planet that does.
Overanalyzing.
Yeah. I should just do it and just see what happens. And what's the worst that'll happen? I hear crickets. That's the worst thing. That's literally the worst thing, is that I hear crickets. That's it. So in the grand scheme of things, it's actually not bad. So it's just putting them out there. And Instagram's intimidating for me because I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know how to market it. I don't know how to put it out there. I've been thinking about maybe potentially there's like a couple of 3 or 4 different people that I could send it to, but how do I do that? Is that weird? Do I reach out? I don't know how to do that because I'm super shy and don't like hearing no. And
so there's a YouTuber that I follow. He's actually got his own podcast and everything. Steve Dangle. He got into Harry Potter as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So when the universe decided to shut us down for a while last year, he does his whole hockey channel, his whole podcast and hockey channel or YouTube channel is all about hockey. And so when it was all shut down, he had nothing to talk about. So he actually did a couple of videos on Harry Potter. So I suggested, hey, why don't we, like, I've been looking to do something for that podcast as well, as kind of like a gift of hey, I'm thinking of you. So people send stuff to them once in a while. And so I wanted to send him something. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to send her blanket along with it, with his house. And you got a little freaked out by that.
I did. I did. Because what if he didn't like it?
So then
I highly doubt that. Highly doubt that.
I highly doubt that as well, because anyway. So then the other thing that I suggested as well was, if you don't feel confident in selling it yet, why not donate it to a children's hospital for like, hey, here are the the house blankets for Harry Potter to have at the hospital or whatever. Give it to any child that you think would want one, and there's just something extra for that kind of stuff. But anyway.
And my whole thing is that it's expensive.
It is expensive, especially the conversation we had about shipping.
Yes.
Yes.
It's expensive, and I want to not like make a not bring an income in, but I would like to be able to
pay for your stuff to
keep myself in yarn without.
Yes.
Taking
that's exactly. I think we had this conversation before. That's exactly why I started selling stuff on Etsy, was to keep, hey, I can 3D print what I want. It doesn't come out of the family budget.
Yes, so that's basically what I would like to do. But again, it's the whole, basically, it just boils down to my lack of self-confidence and worrying about putting myself out there and just all the what ifs and stuff.
I think the other thing too is you don't want to get into that checking it every day. Why hasn't it sold?
Yeah.
It's still there. It's still available. Why isn't any buying it? Okay, I'm just going to put it up for sale and then I'll forget about it. Because that's how I was about my art. I put some stuff up, and then if it didn't sell that week, the next week it was half price, and let's get it out so that I can get other stuff done.
Your sister does that with her store.
Yeah. And it's not a great way of doing it. So I think once you decide to put it up, just leave it up.
No, my stuff is still up. That's not the point. The point is just it's taking that
leap,
that first step,
and
actually doing it, because it's very scary for me.
Is anyone else making crocheted Harry Potter house blankets?
No.
Okay. So here's the thing.
I found.
Okay. Well, and see, that's the thing. So like, for example, very few, like if you look up flux capacitor, lots of things come up.
Yeah.
Almost none of them are a physical flux capacitor. I literally make one of the very few ones. And I mean, it's nowhere near actual size. It's not screen, accurate, whatever. But because I found this, somehow stumbled into this specific little niche, I continue to keep selling them. As for the Matrix, there are a couple of other ones out there, but like one of them's made out of metal and is like $700, $800. The one guy that was kind of competing against me, of course, he came out shortly after I did, but doesn't seem to be doing it anymore, thank goodness. And in the same freaking state. Anyway, like I'm it. I'm the person to go to for, hey, if you want a Matrix that's quote unquote human sized, like I'm the one to go to. And I literally just stumbled into that.
Yeah.
But I'm also the only one who's doing it. So I was just thinking, as long as I'm sure copyright works a little different, but and it also depends on who's holding the copyright. Like Hasbro doesn't seem to have any interest in actively going after people. Wizarding World, on the other hand, may be a little more active about it. But you're also not selling. You're not selling anything that they make or that it's art. It is art based off of a property.
And it is not Harry Potter specific. It is literally just common room colors. That's it.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, you might even want to throw out there Gryffindor or Slytherin and just put that on there. So you're not necessarily putting Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But if someone's looking at it, because I think, in all honesty, though, number one, I don't think anyone's ever going to say anything. But number two, like I said, it's not like this is my prop replica of Harry Potter's specific one or whatever, even though I guarantee those are out there and they're named exactly that. But yes, for the marketing part of it, I would probably throw out at least the house names. And if someone says something, just go, okay, sorry, and just pull it, just take that down. But I'd bet $100 right now that's never going to happen. So, because if you look up Harry Potter on Etsy right now,
there's so much.
There's so, like they would be spending all of their time just going after those people.
They would be. Yeah, there's a lot. And the other thing I was wondering too, because if I should do this or not, was reach out to some of these Pottergram people and ask them if I could send them something. If I could send them a blanket. But I'm also very nervous about doing that too, because I don't want them feeling like I'm using them, but then they're like, they get products all the time. Oh, I'm so
No, it's here. I want to read something real quick to you.
Okay.
Just hopefully it'll make you feel better.
Okay.
I've gotten 2 messages now. Occasionally, I get messages through Etsy, people asking questions. How big is this? Even though it clearly states in the description that you didn't bother reading that it's this size, but whatever. I got these 2 messages 2 days apart from each other. Hi, I purchased a Matrix of Leadership and would like a refund of some sort. It has a few broken pieces. None of it fits together, and the resolution of the 3D printing is poor at best. The quality is not at all reflected in the price. I really don't want to sound mean.
Too late.
But I am pretty disappointed. How can I make this right? Or how can we make this right? So I'm still going back and forth with this person. I don't know about y'all, but going off all that and then saying, I don't want to sound mean, I'm just like, okay. I got this one 2 days before. All I can say is, wow, just wow. That's an excellent job, my friend. My son is going to love it. I just wanted to point that out. Now, granted, the one guy's talking about the large matrix, the other guy's talking about the small matrix. I have had issues with the small matrix from time to time. People were like, well, I don't really think this is that great a quality. And I'm just like, all right, fine, send it back. There was a time where I was just like, oh, man, should I pull this down? This is really not that great? Am I asking too much? And I'm just like, no, if you don't like it, then send it back. That's your problem. I clearly described what it is. There are very clear pictures as to what it is. That's on you.
Yeah.
I actually think his idea of sending the blanket to the sports guy is a fantastic idea. Christy was following this guy. He got very famous on Instagram. I think he's in Cincinnati. He's one of their morning TV show hosts, and he got famous for doing makeup tutorials for when he was doing his makeup before he went on television.
Yeah.
And has this whole cult following now or whatever. And I had thought at times when things were kind of slowing down with my business, I was like, well, he's really geeky. Maybe I should send something to him, because people will send stuff to him and, they have a little show where they open it up or whatever. And I was just like, oh, it'd be free advertising. I haven't done that because it doesn't slow down. It just keeps going. But, yeah, no, I think there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And it's, especially because this is actually a perfect idea for what Ray's brought up. This is not just, okay, well, who can I find? What random person can I find to send this to? He was genuinely like, no, I like this guy. I'm trying to show him appreciation. And you just happen to make something that he would probably think is fucking awesome. Okay. Especially if you send his house colors. Yeah, I'm all behind this idea. Yes, it is. You are sending it out or whatever. Chris, I guarantee you the dude's gonna be just like, oh my god, this is fucking awesome, and think it's great. Okay. But that might be the spark of someone who's listening to it that is also a Harry Potter fan to go, I never even thought about getting a quilted blanket. Like, I would have never even thought to look on Etsy for something like that. And that might be just enough spark that it needs for people to start going, oh, that's a thing? I didn't even think that was a thing. That's an awesome thing. Maybe look into that. Okay. So I personally think it's a great idea. So.
Same with common room blankets. Anyway.
Now, like I said, my 2 cents on that is also, I would specifically say, common room blankets or whatever, but specifically put Slytherin or.
Yeah. You could say Hufflepuff common room house.
Yes, that's what I would do.
Common room blanket.
Yeah.
Because there isn't a specific one mentioned in the Hufflepuff.
No.
So this is just a blanket that they have in the common room. And
like I said, this is just art. This is your personalized art based on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course, if we were pumping these out and selling them at Walmart, that would be a different story. That is, once again, you were talking about different ways to kind of get stuff out there. Like, I haven't looked into it, but I know if I wanted to, I could open up a store on Amazon and sell stuff through Amazon. But I'm just like, I don't really think, if it's on Etsy, it's kind of like, oh, well, you go to Etsy for artsy things, art that someone's created. If you're doing it on Amazon, it's like, no, this is an actual product. And I'm just like, I don't really want Hasbro coming.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think as long as I'm in the realm of Etsy, could I possibly, create more orders that way? Yes. But I'll be honest with you, I have a hard enough time keeping up as it is sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, people expect different things. If you're buying stuff on Amazon, it's like, oh no, Because I'll be honest with you, like I have to stop and look and go, oh, is this coming from Amazon or is this coming from a seller on Amazon? But everyone just like, oh, it's on Amazon. It falls under that blanket of professional items. But if it's on Etsy, it's like, no, someone has handmade this, or someone took the time, and it's art and it's creative and stuff like that. So that's my 2 cents on that. The other thing that I wanted to throw out there about judging yourself, because it's kind of going hand in hand with this conversation.
Yeah.
So I have I really wish Jennifer was still on tonight so she could bust my balls about this. But I have a spreadsheet where I keep track of the money that I've made and how much I spent and everything. So I know
Leave that for a second.
Yes. So anyway, in previous years, like I have a running total of how much I've made for the year, and I've started breaking it down to how much I'm making per month, because it's kind of nice to see, oh, well, I did really good this month, or man, I had to buy a bunch of stuff last month. I didn't really make that much money. This year, because I've been doing this for about 3 years now, this year I've added a new column where I have taken the last 2 years monthly totals and averaged them, and I now have it sitting down there next to what I've made for the month. Also with another column next to it as to a plus or minus. So basically I know, and then also for the year. So I know, am I, how did I do this month as compared to the same month average for the last 2 years? This month is the first month that I've actually beaten what I've previously made. But as for the year to date, I'm about $440 down. Now, what does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. It just means up to this point, I haven't sold as much as I have some years. What's really funny is, like, last year at this time, I didn't hardly have any sales. But apparently the year before that was when I probably had the big deal with the fast food company and sold a crap ton. And so, it's evened out. Well, anyway, the reason why I'm bringing this up is, yes, it's kind of nice to look at a glance and see, oh, I'm doing better than I normally do, or I'm not quite done. But as long as that number is still negative, I've made a good amount this month. But until I technically beat that average for the last 2 years, I've just been like, man, I'm not doing that good. And I have been. And I'm like, to the point I'm like, should I take this information off here? Am I dragging myself down by looking at this?
Yeah.
And I'm not comparing myself to anyone else. It's literally just my information for myself that is just, extra stuff that I do. But it's like, am I doing the right thing by kind of comparing? Now, I feel a little better, like I said, since I'm finally kind of getting caught up. But it's also, like I said, I'll look at that number and it starts off at the month and it's like, oh, negative $400. And it's like, great, I'm never going to catch up to that.
Yeah.
So, thoughts?
I say put that part of the spreadsheet away for a little while, and focus more on, because
called compare and despair.
Yeah,
that's the term that
if you're comparing it to the point of, well, like, what the fuck is the point? Like, I'm never gonna make that again. Then you're missing out on the joy, first of all, of getting the emails that you got where somebody absolutely loves it, and also you're missing out on the whole point of the making process again, which is the ingenuity and all that of coming up with those products and having fun with it. So you got to remember why you got into it in the first place, and that's the fun of it. I went through a hard time after I sold one of my pieces. I sold a piece to a woman, and she basically said she hated it and she wanted all her money back, despite me specifically stating all of her complaints were exactly what I said was
going to happen.
Yeah. And I was very reluctant to do it. I said, no, I don't think I want to do this. And she insisted, and she said, no, I'm absolutely going to love it. And I said, well, it's going to be a different color because I can't match it. It's going to be a little bit of a different perspective because I can't match it. Like no two paintings will ever be the same. Like I don't do it that way. And despite all the warnings, she wanted to go ahead with it. And anyway, did the painting, and yeah, it turned out she hated it. So it was kicking the crotch for me.
Yeah.
And I felt like my creative juices just.
It took you a long time to recover.
It took me a long
time
to recover from that one. So
yeah.
I have vowed since that I will never do anything like that again. I don't like doing commission pieces. The only reason why I'm doing this one for your aunt and your uncle because it's free. I am not taking money for it.
Yeah.
Right. Like so. Remember why you're doing it. I think that's the most important part of it, and making sure you understand and remember that it's for fun, and the money that you're making is to just keep the fun going.
Yeah, see, I kind of came not to that exact conclusion, but I was like I said, the reason I brought this up is because I have already thought about that. I was like, well, should I get rid of this? And I was kind of just like, well, let me see what the Canadians say. Oh, same thing. So yeah, tomorrow I will probably be ripping that off of.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can just hide those, right? You can hide them so that if you want to check in on it later.
Yeah, I could.
Just hide those cells and then you don't have to worry about it for a while. And then if you do want to take a peek and, hey, I had a really good month. What does this actually look like compared to my average? Then you can take a peek. But don't get discouraged from it. It's just a hey, this is where I'm at.
Yeah, like I said, I was kind of looking for validation. I ain't got it, so. But yeah,
Good job.
You know, and we've talked about that, not comparing yourself to anyone else.
Yeah.
And, you know, we definitely don't do that. You know, don't compare your, you know, unless you're looking at someone to go, oh no, that's awesome. That's inspiring me, you know. But
there's a difference between inspiring and comparing.
Yes, that's true.
And there's a total difference between those two.
Yeah. But I was like, well, what if the person is you? Because you know they always say challenge yourself, like you know. Yeah. But when it's something stupid like this, it's like, oh well, I could be doing better. And I honestly thought up to this point, I was like, man, I shut down my entire store for a month or so, like or at least for 2 weeks. It may have almost been a month last year. And I thought, well, then I'll probably catch up here pretty quick. But I guess the previous year I had done all right, so it still evened out. And I was just like, I'm still not.
Don't forget, you also lost that time this winter from your power outages and stuff. Right?
Oh, that's true.
The ice and the ice storm, and so you lost time there too. So yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, I think I'm going to, because originally I was like, well, you know, now I've got enough information that I can actually start kind of charting and kind of start comparing or whatever. But like, and the more I thought about it, like, because this in particular, it's not even like the quality of stuff that I'm making or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm literally comparing it like it's, you know, my business forecast for a business that doesn't exist and is literally me. Like I'm my business. I'm everything. I'm designer, manufacturer, shipping, customer service. I'm the whole thing. And it's just like, why am I doing this to myself? So
if you were a business and you were trying to, hey, you know, this person's taking care of my shipping part, and for some reason it's not keeping track as much as we want to, and this is what, then sure, okay, you're trying to convince somebody as to what you're doing. Or that was the other thing, if you're trying to convince somebody to buy your company and hey, this is how much I'm making on average and blah blah blah, then sure, but you're not doing any of that. You're just doing this for fun.
Yeah.
Looks like fun right now.
Yeah, it looks like you're having fun.
I will say I do occasionally go to, and I'll be honest with you, I had pulled it up again as well. I do occasionally go to the, like I pull up an incognito browser, and go to my store just to see what the comments are and what the average, like the thing is or whatever. And like, yeah, it's people like what I'm doing. It's just, it's one of those things I have to keep kind of beating into my head. That's like, no, I'm doing an all right job. Obviously, people are still buying it, but and it's what sucks. I listen to these podcasters that literally have 1 million downloads for a podcast, and they're like, I can get 900,000 comments about how great it is, and that one asshole.
Yeah.
You can't help but think about it, and I'm just like, okay, well, good. It's not just me.
Oh no, it's not.
No, I think our brains are somehow hardwired that way, where it's so much easier for us to focus on the negative.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Yeah, well, it only takes one bad comment to kill 1,000. Like it's so easy to do, and unfortunately, some people do it just for fun, and their laughs. They don't understand what they're actually doing. So
no, they understand. They just don't care. And they get off on it.
But there's a difference between, and this is where this society was never meant to exist, because typing something in and saying it to somebody's face is very different.
Yeah.
Oh yes, very much so.
And our society was never meant for that, and so now we're learning a whole new thing, and it's evolving. So, it's funny you say about the whole judging yourself. Every one of my paintings, I have a vision in my head of how I want it to start. The closest one that I've ever had to come out as I wanted it in my head is the one I just finished for Chris. That's the close. All the other ones have always had something off, or this, that, the other. But I will say this: there is a person that sought out and purchased one of my paintings, and every once in a while I see it on Instagram because I follow her on Instagram, and I message her I'm like, oh wow, you still have that thing? Like, that's amazing. And she's like, are you kidding me? I love it. I wake up to it every day, and
it's in her bedroom.
It's in her bedroom. So when she wakes up, it's one of the first things she sees, and I'm like, that makes my heart warm. Like, that's awesome. That's
good.
So it was good. So I've got other paintings in my head that I still want to get out, and I'm going to put them out there when I'm ready, if somebody doesn't keep them.
I'm somebody.
I will say there is one other one that came close. It's the one that I did for my father and my mom
for his, was it Christmas or his birthday? What was that for?
I think it was his birthday. Anyway,
your mom asked you to do it. Your mom, anytime you take a picture, your mom's like, this would be a great painting. This would be a great painting. Everything. This would be a great painting. She's
Thanks,
she's his number one fan.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
But she'll never listen to this show.
Well, there you
go. So, yeah.
Yeah, see, that's why I can't, I used to have some drawing ability, and it's just like, I never could get it. I never, like you were saying, I can't get it out of my head like I want. And the 3D printing was where I found that I was like, oh no, like I can kind of design this and get it, and it will actually come out pretty damn close to what I was expecting. I mean, physics sometimes is a bitch, but it's just like, well, like now that I have this other, this new resin printer, I now technically can get super detailed. Whereas before it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get super detailed on this, and it prints, and it's like, that is not what I wanted at all. So,
sitting there with a little sander.
Oh yes, and see, that's what I don't want to do. But anyway,
judgment is one of those terrible wormholes you can go down where it just, you can apply it to like everything in your life. I'm terrible at it. Like, I'm like the queen of
I did something I love, and I'll never do it again because it sucks.
Because I wasn't perfect at it. I am garbage.
Yep, been there, done that.
Yeah, so that's been something I'm working on too, is trying to just believe in myself a little bit more that can actually do it. Okay. So that's the big thing my therapist and I are working on, is that it's called behavior therapy. Mm-hmm. So I'm working on behavior therapy. I'm working on becoming a more confident person in myself. So every time I come up, this is why I want to talk about this, because I want to do it. But what would a confident person do in this situation? So I'm looking at you, because you've been doing this for 3 years of just putting your creativity out there, and you I don't know, you just seem like you Get your shit together about it, man, and I need to know how.
Like I said, I put the flux capacitor out there, and I sold a few of them. Like, I didn't do any advertising or anything. I sold a few of them, and then someone just happened to find it on, I think it was, no, that's not what it was. I sold a few of them, and I got the idea, okay, well, I'll do a miniature matrix, and I put it out there because I didn't think that I would need a big one. I was like, oh no, I'll make it a small one because it'll fit on this, there. And 2 YouTubers just happened by chance within like a couple of weeks of each other, bought one and thought they were awesome and did videos on it. And literally I sat down there on I don't even know what night it was, but it was in February. And I got like 30 orders. And I was just like, why did I even make that an availability? Like, no, that's what it was. I had like 10 of them up there and they all sold out. And I thought, okay, I'll relist it. And I sold another one. I was just like, what the fuck is going on? And then one of them reached out to me and was like, oh yeah, by the way, I did a review of your thing on, and I'm just like, holy shit. And that's why I ended up buying the bigger printer because I needed to be able to produce, mass produce. Yeah. But no, just like, and because that took a while. Like I probably went a whole year. Yeah, it was basically at least a whole year of having stuff up on Etsy that I'd sold 1 or 2 here and there, and it was like, okay, cool.
I don't want to be like a crocheting machine to where my hands fall off or anything like that. But it would be like I have this little dream. I haven't even told you about this.
Oh, no.
You want to share your dream?
I might.
Okay.
Okay. So
a confident person would share the dream.
That's true. There's this whole thing about like, there's like different studies. It's like if you say your goals, then it'll make you accountable. But then there's other things that are like, don't say it because then you're like put pressure on yourself and then you'll rebel and you won't do it. So whatever. I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. So there are these subscription services, like subscription boxes. They're for everything. You can get a subscription box for everything.
Yes.
So I got a subscription box for Harry Potter.
Oh, for the Harry Potter.
I got 2. That's right. It's not a box, though. It's a subscription for socks, which I'm wearing a pair, and they are awesome. And it was a Harry Potter. It was the Burrow, and the Burrow is like my favorite part of Harry Potter. And it had this hat in there from where Ron was wearing this hat in the Order of the Phoenix. No, Preserve Azkaban. Anyway, I was like, oh, this is kind of cheap though. Like this got made in China and it's not like great quality. It's super cute, but yeah. So my little dream was like, oh my gosh, what if I made blankets for a subscription service? That would be
awesome. That'd be a hell of a lot to produce, but
no, like a small one, because I know that there's ones out there that only do like small makers, like they only do like a few of them, and they're all from like kind of like Etsy shop type places where it's a small number and it's like all individual makers and it's not mass produced. So I thought that would be really cool.
That would be fantastic, actually.
That'd be awesome. And I'd make like a limited amount and then they could do that and do the subscription box and mine would be in there.
Step 1, just get them on your store and then
have to do that.
No, it's fine. It's gonna be okay.
It's so I don't know. I guess I just don't have. The other thing is, this is where it really stems from. I don't have confidence in my picture taking abilities.
Okay, the pictures that you took for the stuff that you've already sold, that I have personally purchased, I thought looked great.
Okay.
They looked great.
More pictures, though.
So, for Christmas, we got this stuff. We had this thing of we had to buy something that was used.
Oh.
So I found.
You're gonna throw this back in my face.
Yeah.
Okay.
I found a tripod for the camera.
Yeah.
We have the camera. We have the tripod. I said, I'll make you a picture box. It's super easy to make. That way you'll have very good quality pictures. You say the word, I'll make you the box quickly.
Okay. I don't remember that part of the conversation. I'm sorry. This is the ADHD kicking in. I didn't remember. I was thinking of other things.
So I have it on camera now and on video. Hopefully by the next the next month, I'll have a camera box or a picture box for somebody's pictures.
I honestly don't remember you saying that.
I thought they looked good. Everything just like thrown over I think the.
I have a picture on my Instagram of the first one that I made thrown over our chair upstairs.
Yeah, I think that looked good.
So, and the only thing with that, and especially when you're trying to sell something,
It's the colors.
The colors can be shown differently.
Yeah.
Yes.
When it's up against a different background. So the importance of a proper picture box is that it's very blank canvas.
Exactly.
So that you only see the item that's being sold.
Like, I would probably lead like the lead picture, maybe do that picture box so that, like you said, the pictures, the colors come through. But then I would still do the here's what it would look like thrown over the thing that's the chair that's sitting next to the window with daylight hitting it, where it might actually end up in someone's real house or whatever. But yes, no, you're right. You definitely want to make sure that the colors come through. So
yeah, that was a concern, was that I would take the picture and I would put it out there, but then the picture wouldn't be like real life colors, and that's where people would get like upset. Mm-hmm. It doesn't look like the picture.
Not that they would get upset.
No, yarn reviews where people are like, "This is not the color that it's shown on the," which did happen to me. Although I didn't read the actual yarn description, and I went for neon orange yarn.
I have seriously thought about going back and retaking some of the pictures that I've originally taken, because I have changed filaments a couple of times, and like the orange matrices that I'm currently producing are definitely a darker orange than the other ones. Actually, I need to change that. I can't even get the glow in the dark filament that I use for the core right now. Back up there. I'm actually having to use a kind of a translucent blue, and it looks great. It looks fantastic, but it doesn't glow in the dark anymore. And it's just, there's little things that I have to change, and I'm always like, oh, I wonder if someone's going to call me out on this. But so far, everyone's been happy. So.
Yeah. I'm just worried. It's all the what ifs and all the worries, and I'm just talking myself out of doing it because it sounds too hard.
Nope, you can do it. You can do it. So,
all right, would do it.
That's right.
It's gonna be awesome.
Picture box.
Yes, thank you. I remember you saying this now.
Do you now?
I think so. Okay. I think it'll stick.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything else, so yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
I'm just trying to think of who would be best to send this to. I'm thinking probably my mom. Because Kendall has a birthday coming up. I think she's still pretty heavy into Harry Potter. She has a birthday coming up in September, and I was just thinking, oh, she might like a blanket. But hell, I don't even know what house that little turd is. She's probably a Slytherin for all I know.
The colors.
So.
Yes, they're very nice green. I'm actually really happy with them.
That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah. Green.
Well, see, color-wise, yes, I would definitely gravitate, because I like blues and grays, and I would definitely gravitate more to that than, I'm technically a Gryffindor, and I'm just like, I don't look good in red. And yellow, you.
I'm Ravenclaw, so
you're blue.
It's blue, and it's blues and silvers and all that stuff. Pretty sure she would have been a Slytherin back in the day.
Totally. I was a little shit when I was younger. Absolutely.
So, yeah, the greens and all that for that one are pretty nice.
Yeah, the Gryffindor one's not bad.
Gryffindor's good. And the Hufflepuff's really nice
good too. Yeah, but I like yellow, so I don't mind wearing yellow and having yellow. Anyway.
So, yeah.
But yeah, so that was my call out, was that I was like, I want to do this. I guess need to hash it out.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good deal.
Thank you.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to save the conversation for the show, but also it's been crazy at work, and I'm just like, I haven't got back to Chris. I hope she doesn't think I'm just like, I don't care about this.
We were totally offended and almost.
I knew you would be.
You almost got cut out of the family.
Oh no.
I was going to take over as host. You were going to be cut out of the Apple Geeky.
Okay.
It's almost Canadian anyway.
Basically.
Well, soon it'll be like super international when Jen moves.
True.
We'll have to figure that out, though. She's going to either have to do some late nights or some early mornings.
Something's going to have to happen, yeah. So.
Yeah.
We'll figure it.
All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about what we'd like to work on for next time. Ray, you got an idea what you'd like to work on for next time?
You know what? It's kind of a weird month. We're in a lockdown still.
We will be for the next month.
We are going to be for the next month.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with all the progress that I've made, and I kind of just want to enjoy the next month. So I don't want to put too much pressure on myself.
The fire pit's getting because we can't even go to.
Then we can't go buy shit.
So, too late. I've already written down enjoy the month. So
okay.
All right, so enjoy the month, and if something gets done, it gets done. I'm gonna more focus on just trying to enjoy the month.
Yeah. Get through this lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freaking time. Our problem is that we don't have any.
The vaccines. We don't have vaccines.
We don't have a facility to make vaccines in Canada, so we're relying a lot on other countries to.
Now, Pfizer has been amazing. They stepped up and they've really committed to making a bunch. Moderna dropped the ball and are sending us half the amount that they committed to, and delayed. They're going to be late on the delivery by about a month. And they're only sending half. So
plus our government's stupid on how they're rolling out the.
They are changing the rules every day on who's allowed to get this thing and where and when and. Yeah. So it's a lot of confusion right now. So that
sucks.
A little bit.
Where you can get it now. So
well,
that's
you can
good.
you can get the AstraZeneca one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I don't qualify for because I'm not quite old enough yet.
No, we're not old enough for it yet.
Oh Lord! It's literally anyone can get it, but we're having an issue, and I don't want to get into a political situation with this, but it's just like, yes, I understand 6 women had blood clots, and it was serious. That was a serious blood clot, but literally it was 6 out of 6.8 million, like.
Well, and that's why they're saying that the risk does outweigh, and we can get let's finish the podcast before we get into this.
Yeah. So.
You can even cut this part out.
Yeah, it is what it is. So anyway,
that's where I'm gonna be is just enjoying the month.
I'll find something for him to do. Picture box.
Light camera box. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm almost afraid there's some things around the house that need to get taken care of, and I'm almost afraid that's going to eat up all my time. But I'm going to commit to. I'm going to say 4 things, and we're going to see. The headlights. Hopefully, that only takes a couple of hours. I just need to clear the day to do it, because if it does go long, it's one of those things that's like, I don't want to get halfway into this and have to stop and go back. But I'm just like.
You said that out loud, though.
I know.
A couple of hours for something to do with the car?
I know. We're going to see.
At least 6.
I was thinking 4, but yeah, we'll see. So.
Okay. Tell me when it was 6.
Okay. Maybe I should live stream that and be like, is this what I could do? Okay. This trophy, I'm going to try to do this trophy, and that's literally just like as soon as I get the equipment in Friday, it's like, nope, Saturday, sometime or another, I can set this up and that can do that. Repainting those pieces, that may take a little bit more prep time, but that I should be able to get that done, and that will basically finish the Catan stuff. A Blender course. I still have a little time at work before the rest of the school year wraps up, so I finished the one course. I actually bought this course, and this is the course that I was wanting to take that will teach me how to do. It's a program that I can do more like organic modeling, and it's not necessarily anything that I was thinking about making. It was more so trying to take that 3D model I have of my head and kind of correct the back of it a little bit so that maybe I could move on to the project of 3D printing, my head for the toy. Yep. I actually what's kind of funny was I was actually watching a YouTube video earlier this week. There are these 2 German cosplayers, and he specifically was going into, he's like, normally if they need a 3D scan, they could go, get a 3D scan of her entire body so that they could use it for like, modeling armor and stuff. And they're like, yeah, that's not a thing right now. We can't go do that. So he's like, I found these apps and I can't do her full body. He's like, but I can sure as hell like 3D model her head, and it came out great. And I can do the modeling and stuff we need to do for the helmets and everything. And I'm just like, that's what I kind of need. So I've got a different program. I haven't tried it yet. I still need to take this course. So I'm kind of like pushing that up ahead, when in the back of my brain, I'm just like, if I had Christy just do this and did a decent job, I could go ahead and just skip that and start 3D printing ahead. But no, I need to do this course, do the damn course. So,
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's what I say I'm going to work on. We'll see how that works out. We always know how that works out, because the pool still needs to be opened up, and
yeah,
there's still some lighting stuff needs to be done in the house, but we'll see. So, Chris, what would you like to try to work besides getting your Etsy store?
Besides doing the pictures and getting it up on Etsy, I want to clean my kitchen, which sounds not that creative, but it needs a clean out and a bit of a reorganization and a little bit more functionality, because right now it's just stuff got put there because that's where it got put there, and then I haven't really done anything with it since we moved. So I would like to, and I didn't clean it my cousin cleaned it before she moved out, but I haven't. It's been a year, so I haven't really done a good deep clean of the cabinets and stuff. And our bottom cabinet
I'm a little afraid to do the deep clean, because if we do a very deep clean, then the counter might actually cave in, because I think the dirt's actually holding some of it together. So
it's kind of sinking in a little bit.
Gotcha.
It's like
I'm a little
it's not terrified of you doing that.
Best shape. So
can you put like super glue in as you go along? So that
it's not the best shape, but it does need the bottom cabinets need like a good clean. And I want to rearrange my pantry, and I have to go through like all of our teas and stuff like that, and because there's stuff that's been in jars for like several years that needs to be thrown out, all that kind of stuff. So like a deep clean of the kitchen. Post on Etsy. What? My what?
If I say it out loud, then somebody might take the idea.
So while they're talking,
am I supposed to say that, or
I don't know? Is that something that you want to go after yet, or not?
Not yet.
Okay. Well,
okay. I'll tell you after.
All right. Cool.
Suspense for the people listening.
Oh, maybe, but I don't know. So just put it out there.
Gotcha. No, reorganizing something like that to make it more functional is sometimes you totally have to be creative with that, because like, and that's why that's a Christie job, because otherwise I'm like, no, this goes here. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't have the imagination that it could go somewhere else when it clearly could. Like, there's no rule that says the toaster can't go over here, and I'm just like, no, the toaster goes here. Like,
that's a toaster spot. What are you doing?
Yes. Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm so limited by outlets. So there's only 2 in the kitchen. So I'm limited where I can put other things. But it doesn't.
That'll change when we redo the whole kitchen. That was okay. There's 2 other things that we did, and while we were, that was the other thing that we did complete this last month. Mm-hmm. I showed Chris a complete redesign of our kitchen. We did a 3D modeling on IKEA.
Nice.
Got all the dimensions out and figured out the layer, and so we know what we're gonna do now.
So I was telling Logan this today. I said it looks like from the outside looking in, we do things very on the fly. Like all of a sudden it's just like boom, and we just do it. Mm-hmm. Behind the scenes, we've been talking and thinking about this and going over it for months and months and months and months. Yep. And we're just trying to figure it out. And then all of a sudden something just clicks and it's like, yes, that's it. And then we just do it. So with the kitchen, because we've been living here for almost a year, it's been like, okay, it needs to be done. It's not very functional. It hasn't been touched since the 70s. What do we do? And what color do we paint it? All this kind of stuff. And nothing's clicked. And then all of a sudden it just happened.
Yeah.
And so we've got the color down. We knew what we want for the flooring. We know how we're going to put everything, and what we want for the cabinets, the countertops. Everything just sort of came together in this whirl of like an hour and a half.
That. Yeah.
And so now we know.
Thank you, 3D rendering.
Yeah, and it's also not going to be as expensive as I thought it was going to be, so that's also a plus.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, but it also a lot, and then timeline. It depends on how expensive the car is going to be. It's either going to push it back a lot.
I think it is going to push it
We'll
back
see.
a little
We
while,
have to see.
Everything you're saying, I feel right here. Like it just, I completely understand.
Yeah, but that front. So we have the first, like our whole main floor is all figured out now. So now it's just waiting for lumber prices to come down because they're stupid right now.
Yes,
so
everywhere.
I know, yeah, everywhere. And can you find it? There's the second challenge.
You can find it for the right price, but
not for the right price. You can find it. It's just not the right price.
Literally, someone posted on Instagram the other day, and it was going around in all the creative circles. It was like, geez, how we all understand you're rich. Two whole complete boards of plywood in the back of your truck. Damn. Well, you got to flex on everybody like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's two memes that were going around right now. One was a piece of plywood went through somebody's windshield, and so they were like, "Yeah, I just sold the piece of plywood and bought a new car." So,
oh shit.
So there's that one, and then the other one was my $80,000 deck is done, and it was literally a piece of, it was a little wood step,
12 by 12.
I was like, wow.
But it feels like that. We have plans. We got a fence we've got to finish. We want to do the bookcases in the house, and we want to.
So all that is on hold
all of it's
until
on
we
hold.
know what the hell's going on. Because I'm not paying the
No,
price
it's ridiculous, especially when we know it's at least twice as much as it was.
Yeah, there's this woodworker I follow was like literally he's like, okay, I'm going to explain this to you. He's like, I'm literally making a desk that is sitting in a trailer that I'm going to use for whenever I'm go-karting and stuff. He's like, yes, I am using a sheet of walnut wood or whatever. He goes, is this completely and totally overkill? Yes, but I own this. I don't want to have to go spend essentially the same amount for cheap plywood when I've got this. He's like, so don't at me.
Yeah.
Because apparently people would constantly add, I can't believe you're using walnut for this. Like, that's a high-end wood and you're using it for garbage things. And he's just like, I have it. I already own it. Yes, right now it cost $1,000, but I bought it for $5, several years ago. Whereas a sheet of shitty plywood would cost me $50 right now. So
things are on hold that way. So we're trying to be in other ways. We're trying to be creative. So
yes, but the kitchen does need to be the kitchen, because I spend the most time there. It needs to be better. And I might get Logan to help me. She likes to organize things, don't you, buddy?
Yes.
Sure, she said sure.
Well, that is our show for the month, ladies and gentlemen. If you would, please give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, Google, Stitcher, wherever it is you watch or listen to the show. You can catch us pretty much everywhere that you can find podcasts, including on YouTube. You can watch the show there if you want to watch us actually talking instead of just listening. But I prefer just the listening. You can also find us at epicallygeeky.com, where you can find links to all the different shows we do, including the Epically Geeky Show, the Marginally Geeky Show, Sustainably Geeky. So, and then we're on the social medias, kinda, sorta. We post a little bit. Facebook is stupid. But anyway, so you can find us at Epically Geeky, pretty much Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the different places. So, where can we find you, Ray?
Everywhere you just said, and the Reluctant Yeti on Instagram, because Twitter is hell.
Yes, so it is.
I'm away from Twitter.
Chris, what about you?
All the things you said, except for procrastinators, because I don't do video games.
We're not even on procrastinators.
Sorry.
We don't talk about procrastinators.
That's right. It's like Fight Club. So that, and then on Instagram at Rose and Hummingbird.
And as always, you can follow my individual wacky adventure online at Optimus Gene on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Sometimes. For everyone on the site, have a good night.